So this is our Volvo Ocean 65, and
it's pretty massive.
It is. It was built to withstand the toughest the world's oceans has to offer. Essentially, they've created this very welcoming and protected cockpit here, a deep cockpit, a lot deeper than the previous boats as well. So you've got a very high wall here to protect you from the elements, and then a huge coach roof as well to keep the water out. The Volvo 70s were just very narrow, and you had waves that came through, and of course that's one of the biggest risks that we have, is getting swept off the boat. So all of the winches and everything, it's all manual power. So all of the trimming, everything is done by these coffee grinders. And the way these work is you've got all sorts of links under the deck that enable us to put up to 6 people on one winch. And we can do the main sheet here as an example, but you've got buttons on the deck here to engage or disengage any of these. So if the button is up, it's now linked to this winch, and if it's down, it's off. All right, so we're gonna start towards me. So you can feel it's pretty loaded up right now. And so we'll go this way, and it's a little easier.
All right, okay,
but
I can hang with that.
You think you can do it by yourself?
No.
And just like in a small boat, a dinghy, we've got 3 guys on deck at a time. There's the driver, there's the main sheet trimmer, who will usually sit over here, and he's got the main sheet in his hands. And then there's somebody on that pedestal, or for downwind on that one, and they're always trimming, and you're easing the main and trimming it back in just like it was any other boat.
It's kind of a modern decor you've got going on. I like it. Very orange.
Well, we are going back to Sweden, so maybe IKEA is something of an interest for the rest of us.
Love that IKEA.
Yeah, I wish we could just bring some Swedish meatballs.
Yes!
On the back of the boat here, this is how we keep the world in touch with what happens on the water. We've got the Fleet Broadband Amerisat and Cobham 500 here that transmits all the video and the photos and the live calls from these cameras. There's one camera here, there's another in the front, and then 2 on the spreaders up top. Should we check out what's inside?
Let's go. I'm super excited.
This was not designed for comfort. So this is our living space, and what you're standing on is more or less the organs of the boat. Under here we've got the engine, which we only use to get on and off the dock, but it's tied into it's essentially our generator, so it's tied into the batteries, and that's how we charge all of the electronics and everything else. And at the same time we'll make water, which is under here. We've got a big desalinator, and it's a 40-liter tank that we run twice. So we try and drink 2 to 3 liters of water each per day, but it's also what we use to cook, which is right here. This is our very advanced kitchen galley setup, and that's also the job of the OBR, the onboard reporter. So this is kind of my contribution to life out here. Yep, and we've got very simply a gimbaled stove here, and then there will be a cooler that lives in this well, and 2 kettles of boiling water to a bag of freeze-dried meal, and that will last for 8 hours, and it will feed all 9 of us. And then you've got our gear rack. A good example of how we live on these boats is it's important to remember that this boat is never flat like this. It's always, they heel a lot, 25 to 30 degrees of heel. Tacking offshore means moving everything from one side to the other, including all the sails that are on deck, and it's about a 30-minute exercise. This is a water ballast tank. We can fill this with seawater, and when we pile all of our stuff up here and bodies, you can fill this, and it helps to keep the trim of the boat. But I'd say the head is probably the most important and miserable place to be on the boat. You're more than welcome to try it out if you wanted to climb in there.
No, I'm all set. I went onshore.
All right.
Thanks.
The world's most expensive and uncomfortable toilet. Sailors work on a 4-hour on, 4-hour off schedule. That's 4 hours on deck, and then you're supposed to get 4 hours in your bunk. The reality is you've got to get out of your gear, you've got to eat something, maybe you send an email. And these are our bunks. They're very simple, just a little bit of net. And on the hot legs, you just lie on this as it is. On the cold legs, you've got air mattresses and really thick sleeping bags. And then when it gets really rough, of course, you've got to winch yourself up and make sure you don't go anywhere.
Holy crap. Wait, so you
So-
just get like cocooned in this
Yep.
thing?
So you're not gonna fall from there. So this is the nav station. And much like all of the other things, this is a very tackable setup.
Yeah.
We've got 2 different computers and they run 2 different navigation software. And one is more for maybe the comms and the other is more for the routing. This is where all the decision making takes place. Charlie and Will sit here and they'll look at what the weather is going to be doing. This is where all the position reports come in and they decide how we want to approach the next week or so on board. You wouldn't be here if you didn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
It's a long race. I mean, 9 months is a long time
Hey,
to
lot of
be
FaceTime.
doing something like this. And yeah, and you have to get along. Chemistry is everything. And you have to be self-sustainable, whether it's a broken sail or a broken bone or water maker. Everyone has to bring something extra to the table. You can't just be a good helmsman or a good trimmer. You have to be generally just a good person, and of course have something to add to the equation.